interesting results and big results in terms of consequences and stuff like that. So hopefully you guys do enjoy this, and of course give me all your thoughts on your team's performance in the game week, or any team you want to comment on. Put it in the comments. And let's begin. So we start with Crystal Palace 1, Spurs 2. Goals from Jordan Ayew, Joel Ward own goal, and Heung-min Son. Now, if we start with the goals, I mean, Joel Ward, I want to say is unfortunate, but not at the same time in terms of our own goal, because it was fizzed in, and he's tried to clear it and he's turned it in his own net. That's unfortunate, but at the same time, you've got to be aware of your surroundings, and you know, if he has a look over his shoulder, he would see that there's actually not a danger there. I'm pretty sure no one was there to turn that in, or it was going to be very hard for him to do it, so he didn't need to clear that ball. So yeah, that was a bit unfortunate, but also could have been prevented by him. That Son goal was absolutely superb. Lovely link-up play from Brennan, Maddison, and then Son to finish off. Superb team goal. And that Jordan Ayew goal as well. What a banger that was. Touchdown, bang, volleyed it in. Beautiful, beautiful goal. I mean, bit of contention in terms of did it come off his arm or not. I think it maybe did come off his arm slightly. However, from the angles they were shown, it was really, really hard to tell. And this is going to be a common theme during this game week, which I'm going to talk about, is the VAR. I'm always talking about it. Now, they didn't necessarily get too many decisions really badly wrong this week. Congrats. You didn't have a... Actually, they did have a howler, but there wasn't really, really bad decisions this week for once. But what we did see a lot is the decisions were taking far, far too long because they wanted to be so accurate, and yeah, I understand why, because they've been under pressure so much and they want to get the right decision, but it was taking far too long some of the time. Like in this one, it took way too long to decide if it is hand or not. They couldn't get a clear angle. I think in the end they just gave it because they couldn't get the clear angle and tell. But after looking at about 5 different angles, you should be able to see, okay, right, we can't get a clear angle, just go with it, on-field decision. Why are you looking at the same angle 6 times when you clearly can't see it hit his hand? I don't know. Anyway, in terms of the actual game, if we start from Crystal Palace, I think Palace were a bit unlucky in this one. Of course, Spurs dominated possession, dominated the ball, but actually Spurs didn't have that many chances. You can see here they only had 1 shot on target and scored 2 goals, which is a bit weird. And in the first half especially, Spurs did nothing and they couldn't get past Palace. Palace were defensively resolute. They defended really, really solid, which was a good bounce back from the week before when he got smacked by Newcastle. But I think the second half just let them down. I don't know what happened, but they came out in the second half and they were a lot worse. Really, really poor. Just lost their way a bit and then conceded that unfortunate own goal, and then from there, you know, it was always going to be difficult for them. So it was better than last week, but yeah, just collapsed in the second half. But you can't really judge their season on games like this. As for Spurs, well, unconvincing, but who cares? They got it done, and in fact, this is kind of the games you want to see from Spurs. In a lot of their games, they have been by far the better side, creating tons of chances, fluid football, 3-4 goals, nice, easy. These are the games where you're really going to be put to the test, where you're not necessarily playing amazing, you're struggling to break down a team who are resolute, sitting back, defending in their low block, not creating too many chances, but you get the job done. That is a sign of a good team. 1 shot on target all game and you win. Yeah, that performance there is a little worrying, I guess, but as I said, it doesn't matter because you got the job done, and that's a sign of a good team. In terms of individual performance, I thought Mickey van der Ven was really good again. Now Ben Davies played his game because Desni Doji is injured, got subbed off at half time for Emerson. Davies didn't have the best of times, and I thought in general, as I said, it wasn't Spurs' best performance. Maddison, wow, scintillating performance yet again by him. Son, clinical in front of goal again. In general, Spurs not the best, but got the job done, and they've got some difficult games coming up, so it's important they win these games. They're still unbeaten, and you know what? At this rate, they are in a title race right now. Will they be there at the end of the season? Probably not, but are they in one right now? Yes, they're unbeaten, winning games. You can't really fault them, so credit to them and Ange. It was also nice to see Bentancur back. Speaking of teams unbeaten, Arsenal 5 at Sheffield United 0. Now, I mean, this was a game which a scoreline which everyone kind of thought was going to happen going into this. Sheffield United haven't won a single game this season. Lost, what was it, 8 or 9? I can't remember. Versus 8, I think it was, versus Newcastle. It was always going to be difficult away from home against Arsenal, and that's what it proved to be. Eddie Nketiah grabbed a hat-trick. Fabio Vieira and Takehiro Tomiyasu got the goals. Now Nketiah, his hat-trick was really, really nice. I think it was the first or the second goal. I think it was the first one. He gets it from almost the edge of the box and smashes it top corner. Absolutely superb by him. A really, really big statement as well. Gabriel Jesus was injured, so Eddie Nketiah came in for this, and Jesus is out for a little while. Now Nketiah last season, when he came in, he did okay, but it was a bit patchy. This season they're gonna need him to really step up now as that main man with Jesus out. He stepped up in this game. If he can continue it, we'll see. But yeah, fantastic from Eddie, real statement. And this was also a really good performance for Arsenal, considering they rotated the squad quite a bit. Kivior came in, Smith Rowe and Havertz played as well. Eddie Nketiah, as I said, came in. They managed to rest Odegaard, Gabriel. Didn't need to bring those guys on. Brought on some of these fringe players. Took off Martinelli and Saka as well. So it was a really nice performance overall for Arsenal. To the first half, I mean, it was only, 1-0 in the first half, so they weren't creating bucket loads of chances. 5-0 maybe flatters them slightly, but as I said, great performance by them. Considering they made changes, they rotated the side. That shows their depth is solid. Sheffield United, I mean, 0 shots on target, 2 shots the whole game. To be fair to them, one, you're coming up against Arsenal away. That's one of the hardest games in the league you can have. Nobody's really expected much, and as I said at half time, it was only 1-0, so they were doing decent. They did concede 2 late goals at the end of penalty as well, so it wasn't like they absolutely got battered. And they did have a lot of injuries, like the team they put out. You can see here they only had one attacker. Their whole midfield was just a bunch of centre mids. So yeah, and look at the bench, very, very thin. They didn't even fill the whole bench, so it was always tough for them. I do feel sorry for them and Paul Heckingbottom slightly. However, yeah, you have to say probably time is ticking on Paul Heckingbottom. I'm shocked he's still in the job right now, because this is one of the worst starts we've seen by a Premier League side, and maybe that derby record is going to be broken. Alright, Bournemouth 2, Burnley 1. 2 goals from Antoine Semenyo and Philip Billing and Charlie Taylor. Now, a couple really nice goals here. Antoine Semenyo's goal I thought was really good play by him. Philip Billing as well. Dings the keeper from almost the halfway line. Absolutely superb by him, although I think Giraffe maybe could have got a hand to that. Charlie Taylor as well, I mean his goal was fantastic as well, a little volley. So some real nice play in this game, but in the end Bournemouth get their first win of the season to leave Sheffield the only team not to get a win this season. Now if we start with Bournemouth, really good performance by them. I've been saying it all of these reviews. It is coming, don't worry Bournemouth fans, your performances are doing well. You're going to get that win eventually, and they finally get the win. I'm so happy for them and Iraola, because again, another great performance, created a lot of chances, could have had more. Tavernier missed like an open goal. It was a really good performance by them. They pressed really nicely, as they have been doing in a lot of their games, and they eventually get their first win, which is a huge relief, a bit of the pressure off Iraola, and a huge confidence boost for them. Radu came in goal. I'm not sure it did Neto. I think Neto is injured, but Radu came in and produced an absolutely sensational save at the last second to secure the win. So that's great as well. And honestly, it doesn't matter how it comes. They just needed that first win, and they've got it. And now I think Bournemouth will kick on a bit, and it's just a huge relief this game for Bournemouth. As for Burnley, well, same problems again. I've been saying this in all of the reviews as well for Burnley. Naive. Same issues. The goals they concede, and most of the chances Bournemouth had was because Bournemouth pressed them, and Burnley gave away the ball silly positions by trying to play out. They lose the ball, they get caught out, and they concede. That's what happened for Billing's goal. I think that's what happened as well for Semenyo's goal. But the Billing one especially, I'm not sure who it was, I can't quite remember, but someone gets caught out on the ball, and then suddenly they're in danger, and Billing shoots and scores. And I've been saying that all season. It happened versus Newcastle, it happened versus Chelsea, it happened versus Sheffield, it happened versus everyone, and that is really worrying if you're a Burnley fan, because okay, if it's happened in a couple games, cool, but if it's happening every game and you're getting the same issues in each game, that is concerning, because clearly the management and the staff are not picking up on it, or if they are, then they're not doing anything about it, which is worrying. And if they keep that up, they are going straight back down with Sheffield United. And again, with VAR, they scored a disallowed goal. Jay Rodriguez came off a bench and scored a disallowed goal. It was very tight offside, but again, it took like 10 years to make the decision. They drew the line from the wrong person and had to do it again, and just so slow at the decision making. I do think they were slightly unlucky though, Burnley, having said all that, considering that chance by Sanderberg right at the end. On another day that could go in, on another day Jay Rodriguez could be onside, and they also could have had a penalty there at the end with that Sanderberg chance. I think that was possibly a handball, but it didn't even get checked, which was absurd. But in the end, Bournemouth get their first win, and Burnley, more misery for them. Okay, Chelsea 0, Brentford 2, goals from Ethan Pinnock and Brian Mbuemo. Yeah, let's start with Brentford. I mean, fantastic by them. Perfect. They executed the game plan. They had the blueprint at the bridge, and they executed it perfectly. So got approach us, sit back, let Chelsea have the ball, get in our shape. I think they went 5 back, didn't they? Yeah, they changed their shape a little bit. They went 5 at the back, low block, and tried to pounce on the counter, seize those errors that Chelsea made, and that's exactly what they did. Defensively, so resolute. Chelsea couldn't break them down really, and in the end they get the win, and that's a huge one for them, because Brentford, I mean, they've been struggling this season, but the last 2 results last week was one of their best performances of the season versus Burnley, in my opinion. And then this week, a win versus Chelsea, doing it in a different style as well. I said last week that they were back to the old Burnley, or Brentford, sorry. This, again, was back to the old Brentford in terms of against the big boys. Really hard to play and getting the job done. So huge win for them, and well done to Thomas Frank. time for another rant about Chelsea. Alright, let's go. Let me just go through the team firstly, and then I'll go into general points. Robert Sanchez, look, I'm not going to fault him too much. He came up for the corner at the end and didn't kill it, and then tried to rugby tackle Neil Mopey. Yeah, just a bit comical at the end there. Axel Disasi sleeping at the back post, literally right back. You're told by Thiago Silva. Thiago Silva points to him. Ethan Pinnock is behind you. Go to him. You're literally a centre back. Your job is to defend. You're at right back. You're not even offering us anything going forward. The least you could do is be defensively solid, and you're sleeping at the back post and let your man do it. And yet again, last week it was Gusto sleeping at the back post. Now it's Disasi sleeping at the back post. What's going on? Cucurella for the goal again, not stopping the cross, and he was bombing forward a lot and looked absolutely clueless. Didn't know what he was doing when he was going forward. Thiago Silva, only player on that pitch who was really, really good. Felt so sorry for him. You could see the whole game he was so angry, so frustrated because he was putting in last ditch challenges. As I said, he was telling Disasi, go to the back post, there's someone there. He doesn't. They score. From the corner, he flicks on a header into the near post. Nobody's there. I felt so sorry for this man. Levi Colwell, yeah, whatever. Sterling, absolutely trash. Got the ball and just kept losing it time and time again. Didn't do anything. Noni Madueke didn't do anything. Cole Palmer. I'm going to chuck him a Thiago Silva category. I felt so sorry for him. Unfortunately, he had to do everything because none of the attackers were doing anything. He had to do everything. He was the one creating chances, and nobody was putting them away. Conor Gallagher, yeah, whatever. Caicedo, whatever. Jackson. This guy's not clinical. He is not clinical at all. Doesn't know how to score a goal. Guys off the bench, whatever. Again, yeah. Now in terms of the general play, firstly, we actually created quite a few chances early on, but time and time again, typical Chelsea. How many years am I going to say this? We don't put away our chances, and then we get punished. We didn't put away our chances, which we created early on, and we got punished for it. And then the second half, that second half display was a disgrace by those players because we didn't even put up a fight. We did not even, after they scored a goal, look, we had 2 shots on target the whole game, and I'm pretty sure most of them came in the first half. I don't remember us doing anything. And we can't break down low blocks. Again, how many times am I gonna say this? We can't break down low blocks. It doesn't make any sense. We have no creativity. We have no idea what we're doing. I'm seeing us resorting to crossing the ball against 3 giants when we have Jackson against 3 giants, and Jackson, he literally can't head the ball. So what's going on? We're absolutely clueless. Pochettino team selection absolutely shocking. Why was Gusto not playing? You have Reece James and Gusto. You have 2 fit right backs now, and you bench them both. What are you doing? Doesn't make any sense. Modric and Enzo are out. Cool. I understand playing Madueke. I understand that, but rubbish. Jackson isn't doing anything. Why is he still on the pitch? Or we need a goal, and you don't bring on another. Or well, you do in Washington, but you give him 9 minutes. It's so stupid, so silly. Another loss at the bridge. I don't even want to call it our home because I remember last time we won at this place. Yeah, we're in trouble. We are in trouble, and we have some tough games coming up. So yeah, my blood is boiling. Alright, Wolves 2, Newcastle 2. So goals come from Mario Lemina, Wang Yichan, and 2 from Callum Wilson. So the first goal by Callum Wilson was absolutely superb. A little overhead kick, great reaction by him from that, and then the penalty. Those are almost saved but didn't quite get to. Now if we start with Newcastle, it was a decent performance by them, but in the end, look, they drop points, but Wolves have been on form recently at home as well. Wolves, as we know, are a good side, especially at counter-attacking, and these bigger sides, they are one of the best in the league at it. Man City will tell you all about that. So to come away with a 2-2 draw is disappointing. You know, these are games, if you want to be up there, you kind of need to win, but at the same time, drawing is not the worst result. And I thought Callum Wilson did pretty well. Gordon did decent. Nick Popo, I mean, I don't know what's happened to him this season. He's really been struggling this year. He's just been so like error prone, erratic at points, and again, you know, for one of the goals, or no, I don't think it was one of the goals, or actually was it? I can't quite remember. But there was a moment he came out of his box, came rushing out, completely fumbles it, and then there's a chance that comes from it. It might have been for the Lamina goal. Oh no, I think they conceded a corner from that, and then the corner comes in and they score from that. So yeah, abysmal by him. Wolves though, that Hangi Chan goal was absolutely superb. Totti, where did that come from? He turned into Cafu there. He was gliding past players, and Wang absolutely sent down Burn to the shops. It was lovely play by those two. And Wang gets another goal. And I thought overall Wolves were pretty decent. Again, I mean, the goalies, both of them didn't have the best of games, didn't cover their selves in glory. Jose Sarr was at fault for that first Callum Wilson goal. Comes rushing out, fluffs his lines, drops the ball, and then Wilson scores. And then the penalty, unfortunate for him, he got a hand to it and then slid in. Not the best for Sarr. I thought Boubacar Traoré, really nice, tidy performance by Hing, Wang, Gunya and Neto again. Fantastic on the counters, but the main thing here, I forgot to mention, the penalty decision by Callum Wilson, not a pen for me at all. It was not a pen. Wang has kicked the ground for me, like he's trying to clear that ball and he's kicked the ground and then kicked the man. It's not a pen for me, because look, if someone's trying to clear the ball and you come in the way whilst they're kicking, what is that player meant to do, right? Like, what is Wang meant to do there? He's tried to clear the ball and then the player's moved his body in between him to get some contact. Like, there's nothing Wang can do about that, so that wasn't a pen for me. But as I was about to say, the main one here, unfortunately for Wolves, which is going to really change their season potentially, is Pedro Neto. Pedro Neto pulled up with a really bad injury. Looks like his hamstring injury. Had to get stretchered off the pitch, and that is devastating because he put in another fantastic display. He's the top assister in the league. He's been having a sensational season. He's only just fully recovered from an injury as well, so to get injured again, devastating for him. Devastating for Wolves as well, because he's been their best player. And yeah, that could potentially change things if he's out for a while in terms of Wolves and their performances. But this was a really fun, entertaining game. Right, into the Sunday games. West Ham 0, Everton 1, goal from Dominic Calvert-Lewin. So this was a huge win for Everton, and a really nice goal by Dominic Calvert-Lewin, which is definitely needed. I think that might be his first goal of the season, or maybe he's scored again. Can't quite remember, but it's good to see him back, and good to see him back on the score sheet. And it was a really good performance by Everton. I think they thoroughly deserved this win. Defensively, they were so solid at the back. Jared Braithwaite was really solid, and he looks like he's going to be a future star in my opinion. So still so young, and I don't see many people talk about him, but he looks really good. Defensively, as I said, Everton solid, weren't really put under any real danger until right at the end. Pickford had to make a couple saves. Deserved performance. Counter-attacked really nicely, and it was a pretty simple game for Everton. They just sat back, and then West Ham couldn't break them down. And then when West Ham started to, move the ball into these areas, that's when Everton started pressing them, win that ball back, and then the likes of Doucouré, Harrison, Garner, Calvert-Lewin, they flood forward and then grab that goal. So solid performance by Everton, and a real big big result against West Ham away. Great win for them. West Ham, though, yeah, not good at all. And this was a revert back to last year. I thought West Ham had sort of solved this problem, but it looks like they haven't, and they still can't really be able to break down these low blocks. Earlier on in the season, they seemed like they could do it, but in this game, they couldn't do it. As I said, really simple for Everton. They just sat back in their low blocks. Said, West Ham, what have you got? And West Ham didn't have anything. West Ham couldn't do anything. It was side-to-side passing, and what was really concerning is they would get the ball into these areas, and then instead of putting that ball into the box into an Antonio, which that's kind of Antonio's thing, you know, put that ball in the box, and that's West Ham things aerially. West Ham are a big team, so you would expect them when they're in these crossing positions to put it in, but they didn't. They just played side to side, lacked creativity, lacked invention, and it was poor by West Ham. And yet again, I said it last week, but I really do think that strike problem is their main problem here. I don't know why Danny Ings doesn't get more minutes. It came on the 85th minute. Antonio, for me, has his uses, especially in those big games where you have to counter-attack, but when you're sitting off against a low block, you don't want him as your focal point, because Antonio likes to drift off into these wide areas, and then you lack someone in the middle. So that's really the main problem for West Ham, and not a good result for them, but fantastic for Everton. Aston Villa 3, Luton 1, John McGinn, Musa Diaby, Tom Lockyer own goal, and Ebi Martinez own goal in this game. Now for Villa, it's another home win. That's 12 home wins in a row. What a fortress by them, and they are on fire. It's another win in general for them. McGinn, what a fantastic goal. That was decent finish by Musa Diaby as well, and this was just fantastic by Villa. Another really, really good performance by them. Dominated Luton, thoroughly deserved it, and you see, these are the games where these show that you're serious team, because maybe Aston Villa of last year would slip up here. The games where you're expected to beat these teams, you have to beat these teams if you want to be competing for those European places. You need to beat these sides. But Villa, it looked like in no doubt, really, they were far too good for Luton in this game. Really, really class. Emery, what an amazing job this guy's done in the last 12 months there. Absolutely transformed this side into a major, major force. And I said it about Spurs. You know, I said Spurs, they're in a tight race right now. Do I think they'll be there at the end? No, but they're in one right now. Villa, they're very much in a top 4 race right now. Do I think they will get top 4 in the end? I don't think they will. But they are very, very much in top 4 race. And they are playing like a top 4 side. They are playing like one of the best sides in the league right now. They are playing so well. Why can't they get top 4? Really, especially with this home form. I honestly think, you know, they win almost all their games at home, win a lot of the games away, beat these teams which they should be beating like Luton, then they're going to get top 4. So, fantastic by Villa yet again. Luton, look, this isn't the game that's going to judge their season. I said this about Palace as well, and I'll say it with Luton. Away against Villa is always going to be tough. I don't think many Luton fans expected them to go away from this game with anything. I think it was an encouraging display though. You know, Villa actually in that first half didn't really have loads of chances, especially before that goal. Luton held out pretty decently. They battled hard, grabbed a goal themselves. Tough game for Luton, but in the end, not the worst performance. At least they didn't get absolutely battered. So solid by Luton, and yeah, I think Luton have been quietly underrated in terms of performances in all of their games so far. They've susceptible at the back. They're a little bit leaky and susceptible to the counter, and when teams press them and make it uncomfortable for them, they seem like they can't cope. Because that's what happened in this game. They were cruising, and then suddenly in the second half, Fulham started pressing on them. They started losing the ball. It was a bit more panicky, and then in the end, Fulham grabbed that goal. So yeah, it's not the best if you're Brighton, and I think the real problem with Brighton is continuity. Due to playing in Europe, there's a lot of changes in this side, like constantly changing and changing this side, and it's not really helping the team right now. But I understand he has to do it because they're playing in Europe as well. So I just think they're struggling in terms of coping with Europe. But in the end, I do think as those fixtures start to die down a little bit, Brighton should be fine. Fulham though, good performance by them, and a real good point for them as well. Getting a point away from Brighton nowadays is actually a really, really big win, and it was a solid performance by them in general. Didn't have much of a ball. They dug in, defended well. Brighton had some chances, but not too many. Fulham defended quite well, and they grabbed a goal through Polina. But that was the big talking point here, because Polina, should he have been on the pitch? For me, probably not. Probably not. He came clattering into Pascal Gross. He tried to shoulder him, but in the end, Pascal Gross turned away. So in the end, Polina actually basically shoulder barges Pascal Gross right to the face, and it was a horrible challenge. Didn't even get a card for that, which was mental. And then Polina goes and scores the equaliser. Sorry. So that was a big kick in the teeth for Brighton, as he probably shouldn't have been on the pitch. But either way, good result for Fulham. Not the best for Brighton. Alright, Liverpool 3, Nottingham Forest 0. Goals from Diego Jota, Darwin Núñez and Mo Salah in a convincing victory by Liverpool. Never in doubt this game. I thought it would be a bit tricky for Liverpool in this game coming into it. However, once the game started, it was never really in doubt. Once they got that first goal, the floodgates opened, and Darwin Núñez and Salah for me were absolutely superb in this game, as was Dominic Szoboszlai, who yet again put in a fantastic performance. As I said, Núñez looked really good, Salah was great as usual, Jota got a goal. He had to come into the team because of what happened with Luis Diaz. Really, really sad situation there, what's going on. And it was a tough game for Liverpool with all that going on, with emotions quite high, and it was nice by Jota to dedicate that goal to Luis Diaz. But Liverpool got the job done without him, and again, comfortable, easy, and they're going to be in the title race this season. These are games which you want to win like this, and it was almost old school Liverpool in that way, 3-0 comfortable win. But as for Forest, for me, I think Forest made it too comfortable for Liverpool, because they just sat off and gave them too much space. Like, look at this formation, 5-4-1. When you set up like this, you're basically saying, yeah, we're not here to do anything, we're here to park the bus and let you have the ball. And the problem with Forest is, fine, you can park the bus. Of course, I'm not expecting you to go to Anfield and try and play them off a park, but the real problem here is that they literally just allowed them far too much space. Like, the Liverpool players would have the ball, and Forest players would literally be about 10-15 yards away from those Liverpool players. They weren't even tight, even when they would come into their area. They weren't even tight to them, but were still just scared of them. Let them have the ball, we're not coming near you. And it was just far too defensive. Cooper didn't change it in time as well. Oh yeah, and I forgot to mention, I think it was the Núñez goal. No, I think it was a Salah one. Turner and someone at the back, absolute howler they had. I'm surprised Turner's still in, because this guy here is fantastic, and I think he needs to be given a chance now, to be honest, after that. But disappointing for Forest, great for Liverpool. brace for Erling Haaland and a goal for Phil Foden. Alright, let's start with Man City. Fantastic, absolutely fantastic. In complete control of this game from minute 0 to minute 90. Never in doubt this win here by Man City. They weren't put under pressure. It was easy, comfortable, composed, all of them. Got the 2 goals, lovely play, lovely chances created, defensively solid. It was just flawless, absolutely flawless, and this is what makes me think that City are winning this league, because I don't actually know if any other team in the league comes to Old Trafford and puts in a flawless performance like that. Yeah, we've seen teams come to Man United and beat them at Old Trafford, Brighton, Palace, etc., but no team, even Arsenal. You know, when Arsenal played Man United, for example, it was a back and forth game. You know, Arsenal got the win in the end, but it came late. Man City will go to Man United in their backyard and say, yeah, we're going to boss you for 90 minutes, and no matter what you do, you can't come near us. And when Man City play like this, no team can beat them, because they keep that ball, you ain't getting the ball off them, they'll press you hard, but create chances. They have Haaland who's scoring goals, and it's just scary. It's scary. I thought Foden was really good in this game. Haaland braced back to his best. I mean, he was never bad, but people started doubting him. Bernardo Silva, great. Grealish, good performance by him. Needed that, considering he hasn't been in the squad in a couple of games now. Yeah, fantastic by City, and a real statement victory there to the likes of Arsenal and Spurs to say, yeah, we're still Man City. Don't forget about us. Alright, Man United. Let's talk Man United. I've got a lot to say here, because another battering, another humbling, another loss at home. Firstly, join me. United fans, join me. I'm a Chelsea fan. We're suffering together, okay? It's alright. I'm here for you. We're, you know, I'm not gonna banter you like other fans will, because I know the pain. We're struggling with you. We're getting slapped at home as well. We're getting bullied out for nothing. Nothing's going our way. I know how it is. But alright, I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna go through the entire team here. Andre Onana for once was actually really good and saved City a lot. If it wasn't for him, it might have been 5 or 6. Lindelof, absolute disaster, but I don't know why he's playing left back. Maguire, Evans, I mean, they weren't even that bad, but it's Maguire, Evans, Dalot, rubbish. Amrabat did nothing. Bruno, absolute disgrace. Captain's armband yet again. When the chips are down, he ain't a captain. He's just standing there complaining, moaning, doing nothing, stropping around on the pitch. Rashford, same thing, stropping around on the pitch, not dragging back, doesn't get the ball, doesn't get the service, and then starts whining. And you know, he's done nothing this season. I almost feel like Rashford, he had a fantastic year last year, credit to him, but it's almost got to his head. He now thinks he's the guy at United, and he's like, oh, give me the ball and I'm gonna dribble past everyone. Like, you're not that guy, bro, you're not that guy. Christian Eriksen, yeah, nothing. McTominay was McTominay. Højlund got like no service. And then we undo the manager here, because this team selection was horrific, absolutely horrific. I mentioned it here. Why is Lindelof playing left back? Firstly, look, I understand you have injuries, but if you're gonna do this back line, at least play Lindelof right back and Dalot left back. But what's most baffling about this is Lindelof's playing left back when you have a left back here. Reguilon literally come back from injury and you're not playing him. Like, what's going on? You literally brought in Reguilon on loan in the summer and you're not going to play him. Shocking. And then again, Maguire and Evans at the back. He said he didn't play Varane for tactical reasons. What tactical reasons are you on about? Honestly, what? what's going on? You literally could have played such a better back line and you picked this. It's stupid. And then Mason Mount, he came on, did nothing, but what's not going to help Ten Hag and his job here is you signed him. Mason Mount was your guy, specifically your guy. It was very clear Ten Hag wanted Mount. Man United didn't want Mount, but Ten Hag pushed for Mount and he gave him. And you're not even playing him. He's sitting on your bench, like what? It's baffling. And then Rashford does nothing all game, stays on the pitch until the 86th minute. Bruno does nothing all game, stays on the pitch. And, you know, it's the whole Sandro situation. I thought Ten Hag in that situation, fair enough, you're the manager in that, but, and I'm by no means saying, Sandro comes on and he changes the game, Sandro's gonna do amazing. No, Sandro would do nothing to help this situation, but his player man management is poor because Sandro, he has excluded from the squad because he called him out in public, said, he wasn't training well. Cool, fine. But when Rashford, when Bruno, when all of the players, in fact, but mainly Bruno and Rashford, when these guys are on the pitch, it's been all season, really all season, they've been doing nothing. They've not been tracking back, they've not been doing anything all season to contribute to the team. They stay in the team. Ten Hag won't say anything about them publicly. They will play 90 minutes every game. They won't get dropped. It's just inconsistencies, and all of these things are piling up now, and it's not going to help Ten Hag in his job. Performances aren't there, there's no style of play. You're getting battered at home now. The home form was the only good thing last season. That's gone out the window. Style of play is rubbish. Player management is poor. He's signed players and he's not playing them because he's realised they're not good enough. Yeah, not looking good. United fans, I know you guys have injuries, but and it's not all Ten Hag's fault. It's not all Ten Hag's fault. There are problems in the board, etc. The players need to hold accountability as well. But is it time? Is it time? Is anyone Ten Hag out? Is anyone Ten Hag out? I don't know. Let me know. But those were my thoughts on the Game Week 10. If you guys have enjoyed, please leave a like. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you in another